Now, when I have a guest come onto the show, I really like us both to like tag team and for them to do a bit of work around here. So I would love to ask you a question from a listener and see what your initial response is. How would you start to maybe address their worries or concerns? Just in just a short couple of minutes. Would you be up for doing that?
Sure.
Okay. So, what's the question? Okay, so the question is, through the inside out conversation, I took stock of my life and how I'm spending my time, and I've cut back on many things I thought I had to do, but I didn't really want to. But there are still things I want to do with my time, like art or volunteering or exercise classes, but I'm still not doing them. I plan them for the week and feel excited, but when the time comes, I put them off again. I really get this one. Does this mean I don't really want to do them, or I'm just procrastinating? And what can I do about this?
Oh, first of all, congratulations for being human. Like that's like I don't care who you are. That comes up, right?
Yes.
And two, like, so part of it to me is like just being gentle with yourself, and trusting whatever it is. And I don't know the answer. I don't have a crystal ball. I can't say if you're procrastinating or you just don't want to do it. I have no clue. But you know how a lot of times I answer questions in story? Like I have one that popped up for this. And it's about like, sometimes we don't know if we want to do it until we're doing it. Like that's the only time we can like, sometimes we can make the decision, but other times we just have to do the thing. Like, for some reason, I came to visit my mom the last holiday season, and I love riding my bike. And for some reason, it just felt like work, and I didn't ride it. Like all the way through Thanksgiving and Christmas, and I like started like my pants were tight, and the thought of getting my bike it was just like, ugh, I don't want to do that. So I never did. Like here's a person that loves riding, and I went like at least 2.5 months and never set foot on a pedal. And then one day I just kind of forced myself. I just got to get on and try it. And I remember I started riding down her street, which is like half a mile long, like maybe 1 kilometer. And I was like halfway down her road thinking, I'm going to go back. This sucks. I know I haven't done this for 2.5 months. And then something inside me was like, how do you know? Like you've literally your butt's been on the bike for not even a minute. Like, how do you know? And so I was like, well, this really sucks, but I'm just going to do this loop, which was like 8 miles or something. And like 2 miles in, I was like, oh my God, I can't believe I went 2.5 months and didn't ride my bike. Like, this is so fun. I feel so good. It's beautiful out here. Like, I'm not even a quarter of a way through this ride, and I can't wait to ride tomorrow. And I like to, because a lot of people can't relate to biking, but we can all relate to running or jogging or walking, because we all do that as humans, most of us anyways. But sometimes we don't want to get up and put our shoes on and go out for the walk or the jog. And I realized like this new aha came up, which probably isn't new to most people, but it was to me, was like, I can't decide if I want to go for a walk or a jog or a ride, like while I'm on my couch or laying in my bed. Like, in order for me to decide, I need to like be doing the thing and give it a few minutes. Like just let the juices flow a little. And now there have been times, because I'm a bike rider, I don't run and jog, but I'm a cyclist. There have been times where I'm 10 minutes into the ride and my legs are tired. My body's like, no, go home. And I'm like, okay, like that's when I can decide. And sometimes that might happen 5 minutes into the ride. But if I'm a good few minutes into the ride and my body's like, no, this isn't good, then I'll listen to my tickle and go back to my trailer. But I don't let myself decide that when I'm sitting on the couch or laying in bed or sitting back wondering if I want to go for a ride. Like if it's a nice day, like I just put my shoes on and go for the ride and decide later and give myself permission to turn around and come back if I don't want to. But what if it's that? What if it's in anything? So whether we're painting or we're writing a story or we're sitting down to do our taxes, like that's a lovely one that most people don't enjoy. But most of the time, the taxes are way worse in our head than they are in real life. So if you're supposed to do your taxes and you're like, I'll put that off to tomorrow. I don't want to do my taxes. No, you can't. You don't have permission to decide if you want to do your taxes until you get a good 10 or 20 minutes into doing your taxes. And then you get to decide, do I really want to do my taxes today? How does that sound? Like, what resonates for you?
Oh, you're blowing my mind. So I was kind of like giggling when I was asking the question, because I was like, oh my God, I really resonate with this. Because I like to think that I procrastinate and stuff and all of that. I was like, oh, I wonder what Kristy's going to say, because I like this question. And I absolutely love what you've described about how we can't decide what we want to do from the couch. And I just had like these waves of examples, like probably about 20 in the last day. And I'm reminded of all the times where I've decided not to do something from the couch, and it's been a big drama. So the pain, it looks like, came from the deciding or not, like if we use the listener's example, like doing an art thing, like, shall I get my art things out? Shall I, or shall I not? Shall I do it tomorrow? Shall I do it in a minute? Shall I do it later? The pain comes from that to me, because it's also kind of simple when I know I'm not going to do the thing. I'm just not doing the art today. I know I'm not. But what I'm hearing maybe in their question is that it's the back and forth of saying that you're going to do it and then not doing it, and then trying to decide ahead